It seems psychotic, but when you're a different consciousness, it's like you want to say your goodbyes. Hey, if anything happens, love you, take care. But they're never going to get it. They're just going to think you're crazy. I made that mistake by saying my goodbyes when it was already way too late. And I thought to myself, wow, I should have said that like 10 years ago. Man, consciousness is so amazing. This is so amazing. And it can easily be mistaken with mental issues, because when you're of 3D consciousness, there's no way that you're going to be able to understand what this is. And a lot of us are in 3D consciousness. So what's happening is you're seeing through a veil into like another page of the book, but there's no way that you can explain it to anybody else because they don't see that page yet. They're not on that frequency, and you can see that frequency, but when you try to explain yourself, then they just ghost you. And then I tried this experiment where I would just force my opinion, and I would just continue to communicate with that person even though they ghost you, to see and to show them, hey, it's not me, it's you. And I want to see what I could do to try to pierce the veil of consciousness, but you just can't do that. And I'm learning. You can't do anything to pierce the veil of consciousness because they're going to think you're psychotic, crazy, insane regardless, and there's nothing that you can do or say to change their minds. I said, if anything happens, love you, to a family member, and I was like, I shouldn't have said that because they're just going to think I'm nuts. That's what Conscious Endeavors is taking you on a journey through my spiritual awakening so people can understand what this is. This is literal documentation so we can understand the difference in consciousness through explanation, through dissecting, through deconstructing the mindset, through meditation, breathwork, fasting, and grounding, through mindfulness, mindlessness, and we still have work to do. As we all do. We still have to work in the compassion and love department. We still have to work in the communication department. If you are suffering in communication and you can't explain yourself, even more they're going to think you're nuts. So you have to do your best to explain with compassion and love, and that's the only way. You can't argue, you can't fight. My brother just thinks I'm mentally ill and sick, and I'm like, no. There's a reason why there's a separation from the family for so many years, and it's a difference in consciousness. It's a difference in frequency. It's not about anger or hate. And I've tried to explain them to that aspect of what is happening. And I go, this has nothing to do with me being angry or mad at you. And every time we try to have a conversation, it's just arguing and fighting. And I can't ever get to that point of explaining, listen, we're on different channels and we're on different stations of reality. That's why we don't keep in touch anymore. I'm on a higher frequency than you. And in order for you to be able to even have a conversation with me, you have to love yourself more. So you could be on that higher frequency with me. Does that make sense? So that's why you have situations sometimes where two people can't even have a conversation because the frequency is so different. They can't even have a conversation. They're like, it's like, hello. It's like they're talking to each other, but it's like they can't hear each other. That's what it seems like. The frequency is so different between the two people. Everyone's on a different frequency on the radio. I do believe that this relates to give up your life for Christ. Because when you want to move into the Christ energies and when you want to unlock your divinity, what happens is you exit all of the lower vibrational frequencies from your hell that you're living. You enter your higher vibrational frequencies of your reality, and you have to leave everything behind energetically that doesn't serve you anymore. And that's what happens. That's what it means to give your life to Christ. Because when you transform and when you unlock your Christ energies, so you can unlock your divinity within, then, and only then, is when you're going to become the greatest version of yourself. And if not, you're just going to continuously perpetuate yourself in random cycles and cyclical patterns of your shadow self and of your unhealed trauma and your unhealed wounds. Someone told me, well, I had a 12-day break. You don't understand. I've had plenty of time to work on myself. No, you haven't. Oh, I know how to meditate. No, you don't. No one knows how to meditate. Unless you went to a 10-day meditation retreat and you meditated for 10 hours a day for 10 days, and you don't know how to meditate. And I say this in a way, and in a fashion, and in an extremist form on purpose, so you can go and actually learn how the yogis and the gurus do it. Because that's the only way, is to put yourself into it. Just because you get a 12-day vacation doesn't mean that you're going to transmute your shadow self in that 12 days. You have to sit for 10 hours a day for 10 days. And you have to do the Vipassana meditation in order to transmute the negative energies and shadow self to love and creation. And so you could live in your heaven. So you could transmute all of those negative frequencies and energies, so you could raise your vibrational frequency, so you can create the Kundalini spiritual awakening experience, so you could raise the sacred cerebral spinal fluid up the 33 vertebrae in the spine into the Brahman cave, exploding, creating the Kundalini explosion in the pineal gland, right? Into the Brahman cave, into the pineal gland, creating the Kundalini explosion, and therefore having the spiritual awakening. You have to create the process of doing it. You can't just say, oh, I'm left alone and I got a vacation and I got some time to myself and then I'm going to do a healing. You cannot do this. You have to take responsibility for your vibrational frequency, and you have to go in your meditation and you have to transmute it. You have to do the work. A lot of people, they don't want to do the work and they want to heal. And I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. You have to do the work, okay? It's hard. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Sit for 10 hours a day for 10 days. And every day I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to go through the next day? Oh my gosh, how am I going to do? Oh my gosh, I did 1 day of this. How am I going to do 9 more? What? I got to do 10 days of this shit? So, yeah. Sometimes, things are going to be psychotic because you have to transmute your hell, your demons. So the road to heaven is going to feel and look like hell. The road to your heaven is going to seem like hell because you have to transmute your shadow self. Sit for 10 hours a day for 10 days, 9-day Asian noble silence. And you will unlock energies from your root chakra, and you will be amazed, you will be blown away, and you will be so beside yourself with this divinity that you've unlocked for yourself that you're going to want to teach this. And as Son Goenka said, I do believe and I stand by his words when Goenka said, when one reaches the truth and the way and the life, then they teach the truth and the way and the life. Well, I added the way and the life because that's what Yeshua said, right? So I'm bringing that back. But really, Goenka said, once someone experiences the truth, they teach the truth. Because there is nothing more important in life than this truth. There is nothing more important in this life than this truth. Conscious endeavors.